Let's do some crazy XRP projections. Let's go. All Japanese banks using XRP, 25 trillion. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, 3 quadrillion. SWIFT, 1.5 quadrillion. The top 10 US banks, 12.5 trillion. Tokenization, 2 trillion. MasterCard, 9 trillion. Visa, 16 trillion. Derivatives market, 1 quadrillion. American Express, 1 trillion. And the new deal with Hidden Road, 3 trillion. Now you add all this up, and the total is 5 quadrillion, $530 trillion, possibly running on the XRP ledger. So let's lowball it and say that XRP only got 1% of the 5.5 quadrillion volume. That would give it a market cap of 55 trillion. And price equals market cap divided by circulating supply. So that would be 55 trillion divided by 58 billion. Circulating supply gives you a price of $943. That's at 1%. Let's say they got 10%. That would be a market cap of 550 trillion, which in the end gives you a price of $9,438. So then let's just split it right down the middle. They get 5%. That would end up being a price of $4,719. So the volume numbers of all these partnerships are fairly accurate, but the outcomes are very highly dependent on many factors, like the big one. How much will XRP be in demand?
Good evening. How's that for a start? How's that for a start for a Monday? I think that was pretty good. Good evening, ladies and boys and girls. It's Monday, the 2nd of June. Oh my days. It's the 2nd of June, 2025. Where is the year going? I mean, part of me feels like it was going slowly, and then suddenly I'm like, oh my gosh, it's June, and we literally have 3 weeks before the longest day. And then after that, it gets a little bit darker every day after that. Where? How are we? Happy? Is it Happy Monday? I don't know. Is it happy? It's happy. It's frustrating. It's just one of those things. And I don't know where the time goes in the day. That's for sure, because I almost feel as though I'm attached to this microphone more than I'm doing anything else, or I'm thinking about what I'm going to talk about. Anyway, I'm going to try tonight. I'm going to first of all say thank you for joining me in wherever you're joining me from, whichever platform you're listening from. I thank you from the bottom of my bottom for you being with me tonight. And right now my bottom is quite sore. My legs hurt, my hips hurt. Anyway, if I go through DLive Kick, I have no idea if anybody watches me on Kick. If you do, hurrah. And YouTube, of course, which not actually technically my official Baish Davey channel, because I am verboten forever. The only thing I'm going to do actually, when I get stonking rich, I'm going to buy YouTube. Yeah, baby. And then I'm going to reinstate my channel. Yeah, baby. Oh my gosh, is that what I want to do? Oh. What? Oh. Or maybe I'll just bribe the owner with a... Oh no, don't go down to the dark side. No, see, I'm already slipping. It hasn't even hit my balance yet, and I'm already going to the... Oh. Anyway, how are we doing? Are we okay? Thank you for this morning. For those of you who joined me on Patriot Soapbox this morning, I don't have any idea what I spoke about. Actually, I do. Who have we got in the house tonight? We have Rumble, we have DLive, we have Foxhole. I have to call it Foxhole. I mean, everybody who's watching on Pill.net knows it's Foxhole. I like Foxhole. Pill.net just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? As Foxhole. Anyway, Let's see, where are we? What else? Rumble in the jungle. And if you are on those platforms, please do all either hit the thumbs up, share. Come on now, share. Sharing is caring. Let's do a shout out to UK Neil and hope that he is continued to. No, hang on, my English almost went out the window just then. Hang on, stand by for a rephrasing of what I was just about to completely muller. Let's all pray for UK Neil's continued improved health. I didn't realize he had a bad experience, but he's okay. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. He's okay. Just anyway, I'm not going to go into detail. That's his private. The more I say, the worse it gets. I'm just respecting privacy. All right. UK Neil is a patriot, and he knows it. And yeah, in fact, he gave me the heads up about the President Trump weird truth about old poopy pants Joe Biden. Who knows about that thing? Family Lowe's in the house. Beach Bear Treble Three's in the house. Let's see who gets the answer first. Dick and Doris. I don't know if I'm talking to Dick and Doris. I'm really devastated, Dick and Doris. Dick and Doris has just absolutely destroyed my methylene blue. You know, somebody did say that about the word meth. That doesn't sound good. Methylene blue. You know, really everything about the name, and in fact what it is, should have had me running for the hills, and the last thing I should have done was taken any of this crap. But anyway, as it happens, I did. It's too late. I'm doomed. I'm just going to be blue. I'm going to be blue. That's it. Ace T, nice to see you. Nice. And we have Speak Kindly. We have Raid on Antifa. Oh yeah, call me in on that one. Let's hit those red pills in Foxhole, please. Delightful Delive. All right, so listen. Do you know what? I'm going to make life a little bit easier for everybody. Many of you know that I have a website. It's called a website, but it's not really a website. Really, it's more like a Substack type style thing. Really. A website suggests a sort of interactive something or other and a shop or something, but I have nothing except articles and research, very in-depth research. I mean, I have to say, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of rabbit holes I go down, and rather than me going through it all, I'm going to point you to my website so that you can take a look for yourself and just peruse. I go from let's just take a quick visit tonight. I want to read first of all. I do want to read one of the things that I didn't get around to earlier today, which is the Substack article on the good news that seems to be good news, because nothing is certain in life. But it's about the Palantir. What was it called? Palantir. Let me get back to it. Canon. Yeah. And listen, all right, so let me just try this. Let me try it. So I want to read that Substack. I want to get through that. Unfortunately, I've got to broach the methylene blue thing and just say to everybody, no. I'm like, yes and no and yes, but unfortunately, Illuminati News Donut has, in fact, done a bloody video. And would you know it? Wouldn't you know it? On bloody methylene blue, and it turns out bad news. Kind of sort of bad news. Yeah, no, it's bad news. So, and listen, let me just say to you, right, with everybody knows, if you, whatever you hear from me on this channel, you must always do your research. Don't do anything because I'm telling you, other than, of course, perhaps dabbling in a bit of XRP, baby. Other than that, you're on your own, okay? Other than that, well, with everything. You're all adults, and I'm trying to get my Hoojimi What's It to work. There we go. So what I'm going to talk about quickly, I'm going to try. It's very difficult. It's very difficult for me to do anything quickly. But I'm going to try and quickly, roughly say about a few news stories, which again, remember, all the news is fake news. All the bloody news is fake news. And it's so weird. I don't know. I don't know if we're doing a time travel thing or what. I don't know. But it seems to me, and agree or disagree with, oh no, what's happened? Transmission cannot proceed due to connection error. What? Rumble? What's going on with Rumble? What is going on with Rumble? Telling me that Rumble can't function. Yeah, it's taking me offline. What the? Man. Okay, so my Rumble's dropped for some reason. It's probably a solar fart. It could be a solar fart. Yeah. I blame the solar farts out there. And only one individual's going to know what I'm talking about. And that individual, I don't believe, is in the chat tonight. But I'll give you a hint. It's solar farts. Energons. Anyway, yeah, you see, Beach Bear's okay because didn't do any methylene blue. Well done, Beach Bear. Good on you. Well done. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you, Beach Bear, for ignoring me on that one because that was a big fat hooey. Anyway, so today, apparently Mount Etna's erupted. But I don't know if it's true. We had a horrible incident in Colorado yesterday where a lunatic pro-Palestinian Egyptian bastardo Islamic jihadist decided to attack a group of people, older people too. I mean, they're in their 60s to 80s years old. He did a damned fire, what do you call it, flamethrower / Molotov cocktail attack on a group of people who were trying to call for the release of the last of the hostages, Israeli hostages, in America, and they got blitzed by a lunatic. I don't know. We need to deal with this. We need to deal with it. President Trump needs to deal with this. Okay. You can find that out on, I don't know, on X. I'm gonna be a Smurf. Methylene blue. Anyway, so look, let me just show you tonight, right? So tonight, what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to do the Palantir Cannon, which is the good news, all right? The bad news is the Israeli thing, the fake news media about Palestine and Israel, because allegedly, again, we don't know what's true or not, right? I mean, we don't know what's really happening, but with the Palestine and Israel, America was, according to reports, oh, did I just say that? According to reports, President Trump arranged for food parcels, massive load of food parcels, to avoid the Hamas hands or the UN's hands. Same difference, really. Hamas, UN, United Nations, UNRWA, same group, to be honest. Rather than going through those hands and into Hamas and into the warehouses where apparently Hamas would control the food and sell it to the people, or, whatever. President Trump finally just had enough, and he decided to circumnavigate, that's a good word, I'm impressed, that whole process, and deliver a whole ton of packages to the Gaza Strip somewhere where there seemed to be an awful lot of people going to collect them. But of course, Hamas, being Hamas, was not happy, and allegedly there's footage out there showing the Palestinians being shot. I'm going to tell you that all the footage I've seen, let me see if I can find it, is just, it's really dodgy. It's dodgy. Now with the advent and the real acceleration of AI, I have to say, oh yeah, we got the corona again. Oh, damn it. Coronavirus has returned because apparently, again, I'm trying to rapidly give you lots of information that comes to mind when I see things, right? I'm a bit like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. So I see Donald Trump. There's an Il Donaldo Trumpo joke.
Not comply. The left-wing lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID lockdowns and mandates with all of their sudden fear-mongering about the new variants that are coming. These are bad people. These are sick people we're dealing with. But to every COVID tyrant who wants to take away our freedom, hear these words: we will not comply.
Oh.
So don't even think about it. We will not shut down our schools. We will not accept your lockdowns. We will not abide by your mask mandates. And we will not tolerate your vaccine mandates. I will use every available authority to cut federal funding to any school, college, airline, or public transportation system that imposes a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate. Thank you very much. The left-wing lunatics...
This does seem to be real, because there's a lot of AI going around where they're manipulating the voice, manipulating the mouth, manipulating thing. But this footage looks old, and this is what's very difficult. This footage looks old, but because he's talking about not complying... Wait a minute. Was this 2020? Oh, I don't know. You see, I don't know if this is now. Do you see this? It could be 2025. Or this could be 2020. I think it might be 2020. But anyway, they're coming out with a COVID con again. Another variant BS of nothing that never existed in the first place. Because apparently, I wondered why, and it's because allegedly the whole shed ton of people who are in the WHO, World Health Organization, all signed an agreement with the totalitarian regime, which is to comply with, I don't know, something to do with the WHO. I don't even know what they've done. So they had to come out with a variant. Ugh. And just so you know, everybody, influenza A, which everybody goes for not everybody, but everybody sort of trots off for their influenza A jab, that is bird flu or swine flu. I think it's swine flu or maybe bird flu. But anyway, it's one of those two, which of course, again, does not exist. No virus has been isolated or identified. It's all a bunch of hooey because they want to inject us with toxins. Do you understand? They've come out with a new mRNA jab, which is called something I can't pronounce because I can't remember, and it's all bad news. All right, so enough of that. I don't know if I think that's 2020. I don't think that's now. Anyway. Ooh, look at this. Do you think XRP will surpass $100 before the end of 2025? Oh, please, Lord, don't make me wait till the end of the year. No, I gotta get out of here. Please don't make it 20. No. Do you hear me? I'm whining. I'm whining. Is that right or is that wrong? Is that right? Should I be whining at the thought of $100 XRP by the end of this year, which is of course now 6 months away? I say yes. I say, damn it, yes, I can. I can whine. 7.5 years of this. 7.5 years of yeah. It's gonna happening though soon. Now. Wait a minute. Wait. Ooh, hey, breaking news. Before I get to that other thing I was talking about. Wait, Jerome Powell, what? Wait, breaking news, people. I think it might go to $100 before the end of the year. What is he going to say? This is exciting.
Had emerged from World War II as a global economic superpower. The Bretton Woods Agreement placed the U.S. and the Fed in a central position in the global economy. Our mission then, as it is now, was to serve the American people. But it was clear at that moment that the Fed needed to have better knowledge of global developments to achieve our dual mandate goals. A 1948 memo proposing to create the division stated, quoting, "Problems of international economics and finance have become increasingly large, complex, and significant in recent years.
Just get to this.
And our foreign economic relations will undoubtedly continue to give rise to issues."
Oh, just get on. Could you cut to the chase instead of all this drivel? We know what the situation is. Get to it.
Issues of the first magnitude. That rare economic forecast that has turned out to be spot on. 75 years later, it remains critical that the Fed understand the policies and practices of other governments and central banks and their implications for the U.S. economy and for financial markets. Exchange rate policy, of course, is now firmly in the hands of the U.S. Treasury. However, the end of the Bretton Woods era in the 1970s fundamentally changed the conduct of monetary policy, as policymakers had to understand the effects of potentially more volatile movements of the US dollar.
I hate to say it, but my eyes are glazing over right now with this. He's so boring. Oh, I'm going to run out of time, and he hasn't said anything. Look, somebody just did a boom, right, with this. Now, for God, has he said anything exciting yet? Hold on.
American families and businesses. Understanding global trade and capital movements has only grown in importance since 1950, as we saw during the pandemic.
Oh, Balderdash. Who posted this? Loaded. What did he say? Right, so Pompeius, who is actually quite has 11.4 thousand followers, says, boom, Jerome Powell just said the end of the Bretton Woods era fundamentally changed monetary policy. Yeah. The Federal Reserve is saying a quiet bit out loud. The old monetary system is dead. The next one, tokenized, decentralized, real-time, distributed ledger technology. Hey, XRP, baby. Well, I'm going with the message rather than Jerome Powell, who's just a boring old fart. Just a demonic entity that he is. Wait, are we on the second Bretton Woods? I don't even know. Where the hell are we now? Show more. Show me more. And XRP is perfectly positioned as the liquidity backbone of this new era. They've been preparing behind closed doors. Now they're preparing. Not us, not you, but them. Don't say I'm muted. Wait a minute. If I bump my... No, I'm not muted. Two Guns Pete. Refresh. I'm not playing anything. It's just me talking, Two Guns Pete. You can hear me. I can see my little green thing is flashing along, so I'm vocal. Ooh, Muscadine Wine is saying that I'm on Rumble. Okay, so Rumble's recovered, everybody. Yay, happy days. Rumble's back. Rumble's back. And we're back. Oh, it's Sean Joe. In Foxhole just gave me a cookie. Yum, yum. Thank you. DWB, don't be beyond hope. It's not good. Be kindly's here. Happy days. All right, we got seven fabulous thumbs up. Be your own bank. Listen, everybody remembers the BYOB as bring your own bottle. That's what it used to be on the invitations when they used to be written on a card. Remember those days when you had an invitation by card, not a bloody text? Anyway, it was BYOB, which meant bring your own bottle. But nowadays, in 2025, ladies and gentlemen, BYOB. Ooh. Be your own bank. Yeah. The reset is real. XRP is the bridge. You know, it's just going to be just... Oh no. They're going to create a mass casualty event to launch World War III. Okay, listen. I don't know what to tell you. Wait a minute. Can you see my screen? Or are you just looking at me? Are you looking at me? Or you see my screen? No, you can. Okay. Well, we know, right? Here's the thing. Oh, God. All right. Oh, it's the 2nd of June. Remember, we have Donald Trump in the White House. The powers that be are desperately trying to start World War III. Apparently, they droned Russian planes yesterday. A whole load of Russian planes apparently were drone bombed. Oh wait, proposed community. The Empire State Building has occasionally illuminated its tower in red and white to honor Canada Day on June 1st. Oh, you see? Somebody's panicking and reading into something a little too deep. Celebrating the bomb between the United States and Canada. This is not a warning or alert for a mass casualty event. Oh, stand down, everybody. Oh, having said that, Keir Starmer wants to have war with President Putin, rootin' tootin' Putin. What? Why is Keir Starmer trying to be... you know what? I couldn't stand listening to... I don't know, I can't remember what his name is. I couldn't stand listening to any of the bloody English Prime Ministers, to be honest with you, since Blair. Since Blair. I have not been able to listen to any Prime Ministers talk for very long at all because their voices are just obnoxious. But who came before? Was it Patel? Kash Patel? No, it wasn't Kash Patel. That's the FBI director. Oh, it's a similar name. Oh, I don't know. What's the guy's name? Oh my God. Oh dear. Have I got dementia? Early onset. If I can't remember who the Prime Minister was. That's a question they give you. I mean, I know it's Keir Starmer now. But you know when the doctor does the old test? They say, who was the Prime Minister? What the hell was his name? I can see him. Roland Rat. How about that? If I say Roland Rat, is that close enough? Can I get it with Roland Rat? Who's I'm trying to think of? Sunak! Richie Rich Sunak. Thank you, Two Guns Pete. Richie Rich. I couldn't stand listening to his voice. I've got bloody Keir Starmer now. And Keir Starmer, oh, that's horrible, is trying to sound like a statesman. Oh, I've got something to say about this picture as well. It's on my website. Okay, stop being distracted. I don't know why I'm bookmarking that. I've already got it on my website. Okay, where is Keir Starmer? What the hell's that? Oh, no. Right, let me just see Keir Starmer. I did have him on a feed, yeah. Oh, thanks. I'll get it right, says Fami Low. Right, Keir Starmer. Apparently he's getting everybody on a war footing even though we don't have any ammunition. That's a bit of a problem. I mean, yesterday he said we don't have any ammunition, guys. We need to build some more factories to get the ammunition going. And apparently today, in 24 hours, he's ready for war. Is that what? What? Hey? Boy, that was quick. Let's see where he is. Look at him in his... Oh, he's investing in British pride and British people. You lying scumbag. What an absolute dweeb.
The moment has arrived to transform how we defend ourselves and to renew our nation. An investment in British pride and the British people. A defence dividend that will be felt in the pockets of working people and the prosperity of the country, securing growth for generations to come. Part of a new contract to unite the kingdom, a new spirit of service flowing from every part of society, from the supply lines to the front lines. Everyone benefits.
He's in a bloody cupboard in there. What's he doing? I mean, really? The music's too loud. Is it me? The music's too loud. So apparently we're driving renewal across the country whilst we're letting in 1,100 migrants a day. Oh, apparently we have every right to be angry about small boat crossings. I'm angry too. Oh. When I just read that out, I just imagined him waving a handbag. Why did I get that vision of Keir Starmer? I'm angry too. We are ramping up our efforts to smash the boat smuggling gangs at source. Well then, get yourself and go get the French whatever the hell he is, Macron, because you guys are you're the gangs. You are the gangs who are bringing these people across the channel, because the channel is a very dangerous has the shipping lanes that are extremely busy. And the only way that these little scumbags can get their little stupid dinghies across that channel is with your assistance. Border Force, the RNLI, and Macron. Okay? So, go arrest yourself. How about that? I mean, you'd probably like to try and arrest yourself because you I hear that you've got a bit of, hundreds of boats and engines seized. Whoop, whoop. Illegal working raids up. Whoa-ho. Almost 30,000 people returned. What's the point of returning 30,000 people if you let 1,000 people in a day? I mean, come on, Keir. You don't have to be a mathematician to get that. Come on. Wait, everyone should feel safe and secure at home, which is why security is the foundation of my... Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm warning you, plan for change. It's a capital P and a capital C for plan for change. That's a New World Order. Warning, Will Robinson. He's not Donald Trump doing the capital letters. He's Keir Starmer. My government is making serious long-term investments in our armed forces, creating thousands of jobs and supporting working people across the country. Who believes that load of tosh? Not a single solitary soul. I mean, look at him. What is he trying to prove? He is absolutely... Boy, he's really posting a lot. Let's see. No, we're not doing Nigel Farage. He did an announcement. Oh, I can't listen to him. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I can't listen to the scumbag. Okay, he's just he's just a wet rag. And to me, it's like a red rag to a bull, just hearing him talk. And I'm not going to say that I want to punch his lights out, okay? I'm not going to say that. Don't ask me to say that, because I'm not going to say that, right? Don't provoke me into saying something like punching his lights out that I don't want to say, all right? Okay? Slap him upside the head. No, I'm not going to say that either. Okay, stop. Hand me low. Don't push me. Come on now. Wayne the Pain is in the house, and he's got the bullshit detector at a high, all-time high. The bullcrapola detector is off the Richter scale. He's only got 1.9 million followers. Oh, isn't that sad? The apparent Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has a paltry 1.9 million followers out of 65 million people, 67 million people. That's not very impressive. No, it isn't. Okay, that's it. I've had enough of this now. Oh dear. Wait a minute. I love football. It's more than a game. It has the power to bring us together, to educate, to inspire, and to drive change. Football education. No. Thank you to everyone who is using the power of football to fight racism and build a better, more inclusive Britain. Oh, take a knee. Take a knee, USOB. Oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna throw up. Okay, that's enough. I can't. That's it. I'm done. I'm at the extent of the Keir Starmer. Let's go to a good news, shall we? Okay. I'm going to do the Palantir Canon. I'm saying I'm going to read this. I'm going to go to good news, all right? I'm not going to the terrorist attack in Colorado with the Islamic jihadists. Not going to my Palestine. Although, by the way, oh, you see? I'm just about to argue with myself. I am. Because I want to know who's responsible for things, all right? Apportion blame where blame is due. Now, turns out, and I was trying to say this, and for some reason I could never find the footage that I want to find. But according to, let me just find the footage of the Palestine people being shot. All right, trying to get the food parcels. Palestine shooting food. If I put food parcels, do you think that'll come up? I mean, it'll probably be on my X account. Oh, Israeli troops fire warning shots. Here we go. Now you see they're saying Israel kills at least 31 Palestinians waiting for food at a US-backed Gaza aid site. That's not true.
The aftermath of an Israeli attack on desperate Palestinians who had gone to collect aid. The bodies of the dead were brought back to their families, not the promised food they set out for.
Oh, the acting. Actually, I have to say, the acting is very good, but they've had a lot of practice, can I just say? They've had practice for about 1,400 years. They've had acting skills to practice. I don't want to go over this. But anyway, no, it was not the Israelis. It was the Hamas, allegedly. If anybody was in fact shot, it was Hamas, the terroristas who shot the people because they didn't want them to get free food. All right, that's just me. I'm just saying it. And the UN is blaming Israel, so I'm going to say it's my Palestine.
And the Israeli troops, when they are seeing that there is a crowdness that might become not controlled, so they usually shoot toward the people waiting for aid. So today there is يعني from the morning, it seemed that a lot of people were in the distribution aid points in Rafah. So, and the Israeli troops opened the fire toward them. As the reports reached now, 30 murders and more than 120 wounded.
There were warnings about delivering aid this way. The US and Israel ignored experienced agencies like the United Nations and instead opted for an Israeli-backed organization. The result has been more death and sorrow.
He went to get food for his children. He said, "I want to go," and he died. My sister's husband died. He left his 3 children behind and died. 3 little children.
And
Where
once
are the
again,
children?
rather than gather to share a meal, Palestinians are gathering to pray for their dead.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, is that a body? No, please tell me. I know. Okay, can we just see the scene? Apparently, I mean, it looks very flat for a body, but let's just say, and it's very clean as well. Just saying. What? Who parades dead bodies out in the open and does that? I mean, hello? What is this? Oh, it's just not right. But there's so many people fall for this. I cannot believe how many people who've fallen for this crap. I can't. My Gaza is just a big fat psyop, guys. Anyway, that's it. Okay, alright. Just my opinion. I've seen it all. So let's go back to the good news. Yeah, lovely manicure. Everybody looks well fed. They've got clean clothes. They're fine. I mean, it's just this. Oh wait, no. You know, I do want to. I want to show you this 5-minute clip from the UN. All right, the announcement, because I'm going to rip it to shreds. Not the entire 5 minutes, but just part of it. So here we have the UN chief talking about this. So again, people apparently getting boxes. Apparently they were getting shot. Okay, so they blamed Israel instead of the Hamas people, if anybody got shot. Wait, where's the flipping volume?
The Secretary General condemns the reported killings and injuries of
reported killing. So if you hear reported, it means not confirmed. All right. So it's made up.
Palestinians who were seeking aid in Gaza yesterday. It is unacceptable that Palestinians are risking their lives for food. The Secretary General calls for an immediate and independent investigation into these events and for perpetrators to be held accountable. Israel has a clear obligation under international humanitarian law to agree to and facilitate humanitarian aid.
They have.
Unimpeded entry of assistance at scale to meet the enormous needs of the people in Gaza must be restored immediately. The United Nations must be allowed to work in safety and security under conditions that fully respects our humanitarian principles. The Secretary General continues to call for an immediate, permanent, and sustained ceasefire. All hostages must be released immediately and unconditionally. This is the only path to ensuring security for all. There is no military solution to this conflict. And turning to the situation on the ground, I can tell you that our humanitarian colleagues there from the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs tell us that in the last 2
I want you to listen carefully to the details of the food getting across the border, okay? Listen carefully to his information about what's happened over the weekend with food, how many trucks, how much delivery, and then what he says next.
2 days, partners reported scores of people killed and injured, apparently while gathering to receive supplies near the militarized distribution centers in Rafah and Deir al-Balah. Attacks against health facilities have also continued. Yesterday, North Gaza, the Noor al-Kabi Center for Dialysis was reportedly hit. The Ministry of Health in Gaza tells us that more than 40% of dialysis patients in Gaza have died since the escalation of hostilities in October 2023. This is because the centers were either struck or they are now unreachable.
Can I just say, if people are on dialysis, they've got health issues, and the likelihood of them not living is a possibility. Just saying, you know. Dialysis, problem with the kidneys.
As hostilities continue, people have once again been forced to flee. On Saturday, Israeli authorities issued another displacement order in Khan Yunis and Deir al-Balah. This has affected about 100,000 people living in more than 200 displacement sites. 2 primary health care centers and 5 medical points are within the displacement area, while these 3 hospitals and 3 field hospitals and 7 primary health care centers and 20 medical points are located within 1,000 meters of it. Overall, since March 18th, our humanitarian partners estimate that more than 640,000 people, that's nearly a third of Gaza's entire population, have been displaced across the Gaza Strip. The latest displacement order also deprived at least 8,000 students of learning as tens of functioning temporary learning spaces and dozens of public schools had to suspend their operations.
Hang on, I thought this Gaza was leveled to the ground. Can I just find out, where's the schools operating? I mean, is it a war zone, or have they got schooling going on? I mean, I don't know about you, but the image I'm given, or what I have in my head, is just a devastation, a starvation, trying to survive, and yet the schools already? They've got schools going? Huh? We can't. Is it me? Put a 4 in the chat if you agree that seems a bit strange with the. I mean, are we worried about them being starved or educated? Because you know, huh?
These closures constitute a severe setback for children in education, limiting their access to a safe and structured living environment. The United Nations and our humanitarian partners will continue their efforts to identify and treat malnutrition wherever possible, even as dwindling supplies get even lower. Last week, we and our partners distributed supplements to about 40,000 children, despite severe challenges and restrictions on humanitarian assistance. Meanwhile, as people endure deprivation and hunger and the absence of adequate food distribution, as well as looting incidents continue to be reported. The vast majority of people taking flour directly from our open trucks out of clear desperation, but our teams are also observing criminal looting yet again. We and our partners continue to call for the full lifting of the restrictions on aid and other essentials to ensure that the needs of civilians are met. This comes as people continue to suffer, but from frequent water shortages. The pipeline in Deir al-Balah, which has supplied at least 12,000 cubic meters of water every day, still not operational, and humanitarians' attempts to carry out coordinated missions to repair it have been denied. Today, 5 missions to distribute potable water in the displacement camps in Jabalia were also denied by Israeli authorities. Over the weekend, we and our partners kept working to bring supplies from the Palestinian side of Karim Shalom crossing into Gaza.
So over the weekend, bringing supplies across Gaza to across the crossing, right? Over the weekend.
More than 100 truckloads of food and medical supplies were picked up on Saturday and Sunday.
More than 100 truckloads of food were picked up on Saturday and Sunday,
bringing more than 300 the number of truckloads picked up from the Gaza side of Karim Shalom since it was reopened.
Bring it up more than 300. Okay.
Today, one of our attempts to collect supplies from that crossing was denied. Another is still ongoing, awaiting a green light from Israeli authorities, a pause in the bombing along the route, and the allocation of a viable path. Because of the Israeli weekend and holiday, the border was kept closed.
Well, he just said that the weekend were 150 trucks were delivered, and now he's saying because they're on holiday, they didn't get anything over the weekend, right?
Blocking us from bringing more supplies from Israel through Karim Shalom since Saturday. From that crossing was denied. Another is still ongoing, awaiting a green light from Israeli authorities, a pause in the bombing along the route, and the allocation of a viable path. Because of the Israeli weekend and holiday, the border was kept closed, blocking us from bringing more supplies from Israel through Karim Shalom since Saturday. The crossing is open even when the crossing is open, severe restrictions on what we can bring in, both in terms of volume and variety, means it's still just a trickle of what people actually need.
Anyway, right, so it's a load of rubbish, right? Yeah, and as Two Guns Pete says, bring it through. How about delivering it through Egypt? Anyway, you know, President Trump has found a different route, and I want to show you the footage, okay, that apparently shows, I mean, this is, look at this. I mean, what is this footage? This is apparently showing people collecting the free food, and that's the other thing, is that the Palestinians didn't realize the food was free from Israel, because, of course, Hamas makes them pay for it. I don't know what they use, but anyway. So this is apparently... you know what? I think this is AI. And apparently this is somebody shooting. It looks like at the ground. Oh no, he shot that person there for some reason. So they're blaming Israel for this. I mean, the footage is terrible. I don't know why we can't get sharper pictures. This is pretty horrible. So I think this is I just need to ask people. I'll see if I can get this video onto my website. But again, I'm so critical of footage now. It seems to me that the people with these white sacks are very speedy. They're able to run quite quickly. And they seem to run through people. They seem to be running through forms. Watch. Oh wait, no, this guy here. I mean, Speedy Gonzales. I don't know. Maybe they're not. I mean, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but this is apparently supposed to be showing Israelis killing Palestinians. And of course, we know that the likelihood is more. It's more likely that it's the Hamas shooting the people because they don't want them to get free food. Here's all the boxes, and of course, the greedy guts took as much as they could. It wasn't restricted to one box each. Some people just, they're like, oh, right? I mean, she's starving. Can't you see the poor woman starving? I mean, she's bloody running with the freaking great sack on her back. That looks really good, doesn't it? Where the hell did she get that kind of energy? Hang on. He struggled to get it on her back, and she just takes off like, I don't know. Watch. Running, baby. I mean, seriously, she better conserve her energy. That's pretty impressive, I have to say. No. Look at this. Look at him. What a mess. What an absolute mess. Order, or queue up, please. One box each. Just one box. I mean, they all look very fit to me. They're all charging across loads of energy. And by the way, they turned up, so they're selling it on the markets. Because they got it for nothing and they're selling it. Do you know what? Honestly, so many people. Oh, here they come. Here they come.
And here they come.
And here they come. And they're coming. And I'd start to back up if I were you, because they're going to turn into a swarm. They are running. Ruh-roh. There's a mountain of boxes. Oh, they're holding their hands up. Don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Okay, we don't need to see more, do we? I mean, seriously, what a joke. And did you see Paris? Okay, I was going to do good stuff, right? Did you see Paris? Of course. The news... Oh, I like this. I like this solution, by the way, by Daniel. Israel's response to the Paris riots. France cannot expect peace whilst denying independence of the state to its Muslim citizens. It's time for a two-state solution. One French, one Muslim. There's no such thing as a two-state solution. Remember, the only people who call for a two-state solution are the non-Muslims, okay? Because the Muslims want one state and they don't want Israel, the Israelis part of it, okay? The Israelis would say two states and be fair and share it, which is what they've done over the years, and all they get for their generosity is our attacks. So yeah, so the only people from the river to the sea is not a two-state solution, okay? Just get that in your heads, people. That Islam is jihad, is takeover, is violence. Anybody who supports the Palestinian people supports terrorists. Just saying. With some innocence in there. Let's just give them some innocence. But it's obvious that... Anyway, I'm so tired of this. Report, Palestinians shocked US aid is free after being charged by Hamas for UN aid. There you go. But, you know, I have very little sympathy for them because, of course, they're not grateful at all. I mean, I know, actually, it's not fair because there were some Palestinians who were saying, thank you so much, Mr. Trump, President Trump, for giving us this food, you know, but for you, we wouldn't get this food. So, you know, there was a bit of gratitude. Anyway, shall I get to this bloody Palantir thing? I was supposed to be doing good news tonight. All right, here we go. So, everybody, you know how we think. You know, we have doomsday on this side. Now I'm gonna do doomsday on the left, and salvation on the right. You know, right, salvation, all that good stuff. And Palantir. I did hear the reference to Palantir, which seems to be quite sinister. Okay, this company. The ad for it showed up at I think one of the football events in America, and people were very concerned about this Palantir. Now, all I'm going to tell you is that this individual, who's this? Somebody wrote, oh, please tell me you've got a name here. Observing Consciousness wrote this really interesting article to suggest that the whole we have it all is a thing. Right? Donald Trump and the White Hats have got it all under control, which is, of course, what we're a bit bipolar on this situation, all right? I get excited and then I get dashed. I get excited and then I get concerned. It's very all over the place. So let's just read this, because I thought this was exciting. The Palantir Cannon, the mirror that captured the machine. All the Q relevance and everything else will come here, don't you know? So let's go. A multi-dimensional exposure of the control grid, degree by degree, domain by domain, until the system collapses under its own surveillance. Power was always built like a pyramid, layered in secrecy, ruled from the top. That's why it's falling in degrees. The Palantir Cannon is a mapped detonation of the global control system, decoded one layer at a time across 33 engineered degrees of domination. They called it enlightenment. They wrapped it in symbols, rituals, and spiritual theft. From Masonic lodges to Ivy League halls, the 33-degree pyramid of power was real. A towering hierarchy crowned with the all-seeing eye. And Palantir was their digital apex, the crown jewel of surveillance. Until it was flipped. Trump's executive orders weren't politics. They were legal warheads, coded acts of silent rebellion. Harvard fell. Now, I think everybody, maybe, I don't know, everybody in the chat, you know about the problems Harvard's had lately with the funding, being told that they need to cancel their DEI and get rid of their foreign students or submit the lists of their foreign students, and they've refused. So the funding's been withheld, and it's causing a bit of a problem because, you know, they're being challenged. Anyway, Harvard fell, surveillance systems turned, and Palantir, their mirror of control, became the system that now watches them, as we can see with, obviously, Elon and Doge and all that good stuff. This canon doesn't theorize, it documents. Each degree reveals what they never wanted seen: who built it, who ran it, who paid for it, and who falls next. If you think this ends in courtrooms, you haven't seen degree 33. This isn't just exposure, it's reversal, by design, by degree, until the whole pyramid collapses. The silent detonation, how 3 executive orders set the trap that captured the control grid. The war that didn't look like a war, or the war that didn't look like war. It didn't begin with bombs, it began with language. While the world was hypnotized by headlines, outraged by tweets, and glued to theater, a quiet war unfolded beneath the surface, initiated not by tanks or drones, but by executive ink on parchment, December 21st, 2017. A date that will never be taught in classrooms, but should, because this was when the detonation was triggered. Not a physical explosion, but a legal one, a structural implosion of the global corruption grid masked as routine bureaucracy. Donald Trump didn't walk into Washington to play the game. He came to flip the board, baby. It doesn't actually say baby. I just added that. I don't know what it is. I popped the blimp by saying, why? I don't know where the baby comes from, but anyway, yeah, baby. I don't know where's that come from. Oh, I know. That's, anyway, never mind. Carry on. And he did it with 3 coded declarations of war. The Trinity of Capture. Executive Order 13818, Executive Order 13848, and Executive Order 13959. And Executive Order 13818 was signed under the radar. The world saw it as just another human rights statement, but in reality, it activated a wartime legal state, a national emergency without ever declaring a war. Its language was surgical. Anyone, foreign or domestic, involved in human rights violations or corruption could have their assets frozen. If it wasn't just an order, it was a sword of lawful seizure that bypassed the judicial system and went straight for the purse strings of global elites. That same sword would be extended and sharpened with Executive Order 13848, signed in 2018. On its face, it was about election security, but its real function was far deeper. It created a surveillance override, a pretext to monitor and track any node touched by foreign interference in U.S. elections. That meant NGOs, media outlets, universities, private equity. No one was off limits. Then came Executive Order 13959, the Mask Ripper, issued post-2020 election theft optics. It zeroed in on Chinese military firms embedded in U.S. finance. This was the beginning of the financial untangling. Wall Street, Harvard, and the CCP, the triumvirate of the captured world. Together, these 3 orders didn't just create a new legal architecture, they were the trap. And the trap was spiritual as much as it was legal. The mirror is forged. What was Trump really doing? He wasn't reacting to the system. He was laying the rails for its lawful capture. While the media caricatured him, while politicians laughed him off, Trump's team was embedding a mirror system beneath the visible grid, an architecture that would eventually record everything, route it through AI, and legally tag it for future prosecution. Palantir was that mirror. Originally built as a surveillance and modeling engine for the post-9/11 national security state, Palantir became something else. In 2020, it was infiltrated, or more precisely, it was flipped. Harvard falls first, the ritual collapse of the gate. Before Palantir was turned, something symbolic had to fall. Harvard. Not just a school, but the ritual gate to elite legitimacy for centuries. It functioned as the forge of controlled narratives, bloodline anointings, and soft imperial indoctrination. Then, in 2018, Drew Faust stepped down. It wasn't a resignation, it was a signal. Shortly after, financial audits revealed disturbing ties between Harvard's endowment and CCP-linked ranked investment vehicles. Faculty scandals emerged, donations dried up, the crimson veil slipped. The collapse of Harvard wasn't an accident, it was a planned dethroning, because no new system could rise until the false priesthood was exposed and disarmed. Trump's executive orders were already in effect. Palantir was already watching. Now, I'm not sure what Family Low's just done. Oh. That's all right, you're talking to Two Guns Pete. Trojan Horse, HHS, and Palantir's pandemic infiltration. Then came COVID, the perfect storm. While the world was busy following arrows on supermarket floors and clapping for health bureaucrats, Palantir was brought into the center of the machine. Under the guise of pandemic management, Palantir partnered with Health and Human Services via a program called Protect Now. It gave them real-time access to hospital data, supply chain movement, vaccine, jib-jab logistics, behavioral compliance metrics, but more importantly, it gave them a backdoor into every institution connected to the COVID response. Well. And inside that data, the Mirror began its work. Palantir didn't just track hospital beds, it tracked narrative synchronization, it modeled population reactions to exposure, it studied what would happen when truth broke through the fog. It was preparing the system for full cognitive collapse. The Mirror turns, white hats walk in. Here's the twist. White hats didn't shut down Palantir, they entered it. They didn't destroy the Mirror, they flipped it. Palantir, once the eye of the surveillance state, was now the witness system, recording crimes in real time under legal authorization. It monitored election tampering patterns, NGO money laundering, ESG score enforcement, digital censorship corridors, pharmaceutical suppression deals. Every click, every email, every transaction. The Mirror watched and it tagged everything. Under the protection of Trump's EOs, this data wasn't just observation, it was evidence. The trap was sprung before the theatrics began. When Trump walked away from the White House in 2021, the media declared victory. But they didn't understand what had already happened. The system was already captured. The Mirror was already watching. The evidence trails were already recorded legally, mathematically, and spiritually. This wasn't politics. It was the most sophisticated counter-capture operation in modern history. And it began here. This is degree 0. Now, are you enjoying this reading, ladies and gentlemen? Because I could stop now and let you read the rest yourselves. I'm not sure. I don't know. Please don't tell me I've got to go to 33 degrees. I'm at degree 1. It's about radical Islamic terrorism. Who's on a par with Clueless? Okay, I'm waiting for a response before I continue, because there's a lot of conversation going on in the chat, and none of it's about what I'm talking about. So, you are being monitored, and I don't need to use Palantir to keep track of what you're talking about at the back of the classroom. We're talking bloody Quran. Aloha snack bar. Oh, Grain of Salt says keep reading. Okay. Oh, Angel Fire just said, hello, Amy, usually watch on Patriot Soapbox. Well, welcome, Angel Fire. Welcome to my little Rumble channel. All right, I'll keep reading. Wait a minute, let me just see. Degree 1, the useful pawns. How much have I got to read here? I'm trying to see. Oh my God, it's quite long. Oh. Okay. Actually, it's not too bad. It's quite wide spacing here. All right. Where am I? I mean, I could have read a whole half of it by now with all the faffing about I've just done. Let me just take a sip of water, Vasa. Are you enjoying this? Are you enjoying this reading? Who started Palantir? Well, that's a good thing to look up, Two Guns Pete, and you can let us know at the end. Degree 1, the useful pawns. Before institutions fall, they use their frontline faces to hold the line. They become the story, the lightning rods, the distractions. But in Degree 1, the pawns get played, and the board begins to crack. The disposable front line in the war for perceptions. The veil of consensus begins to slip. Amilo had to turn me down. You probably got to get off here anyway. Oh, thanks for that news, Familo. Had to bloody turn me down. Turn me up. Turn the volume up. Bloody cheek. I mean, did you have to tell me? You could have just kept that all to yourself, Amilo. I mean, seriously, that's like why, does somebody not want to hear what I'm saying? What's going on? Who's listening? Anyway, I'm going to carry on. Oh, wait, don't tell me I'm muted again. Amilo muted me. That's right. All right. Okay, focus. I think I've done quite well with the reading so far. I've kept my attention span. All right, let's go. It's, the problem with me is that the screen is too bright. The brightness of the white. I want to be able to, have a dark screen. Because it is color hurting my eyes. Is there a way of making this dark? I don't want to lose my place, but my eyes, the glare. If I get a headache, it's your fault. Okay. All right, let's go. I'm going to try and read this as fast as I can now. The veil of consensus begins to slip. Oh yeah, the veil of consensus begins to slip. The first casualties of a collapsing empire are not its kings, but its pawns. Before institutions fall, before oligarchs flee, and before shadow networks are exposed, the machine burns through its front line. That's the truth of Degree 1. The realm of useful idiots and ideological mercenaries. Oh my days, have we seen all those? Ugh, let me count the ways. Anyway, the public saw them as prosecutors, DEI officers, Convid health directors, school board tyrants, compliance czars, and newly minted activist mayors. But behind their performative righteousness was a different function. They were psychological firewalls. Palantir's data didn't just expose these individuals, it mapped the orchestration. It showed that these actors weren't simply misguided or overzealous. They were strategically deployed, often unwittingly, to shape belief and force narrative obedience and absorb the first wave of social dissent. They were nodes, scripted, programmed, and expendable. This is where the mirror turned from watching enemies to watching the system itself. The rise of the behavioral buffer class. Degree 1. Oh, I'm still on Degree 1. I got 33 degrees ago. Flippin' heck. Note to self. One should probably read through what one is about to read through before one says one's going to read through something. I know that it's bright. Meh. How can I turn it down? Okay, I'm going to stop whining. I'll get on with it. Okay, the rise of behavioral buffer class. What? Wait a minute. Didn't I do that already? Wait a minute. Degree 1 is not about high-level conspirators. It's about middle-tier enforcers who think they matter. The social architects knew that power couldn't be maintained by elites alone. It required a visible priesthood of experts to sanctify the illusion of moral order. These pawns were often true believers. Some were ideologically possessed, others career opportunists, but their role was clear: to create the perception of grassroots enforcement, to make systemic oppression feel like decentralized righteousness. Palantir revealed thousands of embedded behavioral operatives. DEI officers embedded in HR departments, universities, and hospital boards with synchronized language matrices. COVID czars receiving identical instructions from the World Health Organization, satellites, and NGO alliances. Local prosecutors quietly instructed by Open Society, George Soros, templates to abandon enforcement protocols. School boards armed with legal shields and PSYOPs-based curriculum guides. They weren't random. They were installed, and their purpose wasn't governance, it was obedience conditioning. The optics of decentralization, manufacturing the illusion of choice. We know this is not surprising at all, is it? I mean, we saw through all of this. To the average observer, this appeared as natural civic engagement, but Palantir's simulations uncovered one damning insight. These weren't parallel phenomena, they were sequenced deployments. From San Francisco to Atlanta, from school districts to transit authorities, entire regions saw nearly identical waves of DEI mandates, pronoun enforcement, convid mandates, and ideological purges. The language changed slightly, but the substructure was the same. Behavioral analysis showed predictable response triggers deployed by pawns, synchronous backlash absorption training, inverted morality campaigns, targeted dissent as violence. Your silence is violence. Internal scripts for media interaction, leak control, and narrative deflection. The firewall wasn't meant to convince everyone, it was meant to confuse just enough to divide. And as social tension increased, Palantir recorded something new. The fatigue curve. The pawns weren't just triggering emotional response, they were training the public to accept confusion as reality. The psychological impact zone, a warfare model. This is 5th generation warfare. The battlefield isn't land, it's narrative. The weapon isn't bombs, it's consent. And the pawns of Degree 1 were the opening wave. Palantir simulations showed emotional erosion curves across target demographics, rage, disgust, collapse, feedback loops timed to media pushes, behavioral nudging through identity-based shame triggers, crisis fatigue through layered moral contradictions. Each time a health officer contradicted themselves, each time a prosecutor refused justice, each time a DEI lead mocked parental rights, they were fracturing coherence, not as failure, as function. Ritual burnings. When the pawns become useless, the cruelty of the machine is in its discards. Once the pawns outlive their usefulness, they are erased, not always by jail or trial, but by memory. Palantir recorded the discard patterns. Failed COVID officials reassigned to obscure research roles. DEI leads removed after community backlash. No accountability, no apology. School board members quietly resigning with pensions intact. City mayors absorbed into non-profits with no electoral future. Sometimes the system rewards them with book deals, sometimes they're allowed to retreat in silence. But what remains constant is this: they are not protected, they are used. They believed they were building a better world. They were building a cage. Behavioral holograms, Palantir's real revelations. What made Degree 1 so dangerous wasn't just the people, it was the system of behavioral mimicry that replaced real leadership. Palantir's deep learning models mapped identical public statements by unconnected officials, copy-pasted DEI and health language across hundreds of sites, predictive behavior scaffolding weeks before national events. It was ritualized control through performative governance. And the real crime? The population started imitating the pawns. And didn't they just? Oh my days. Oh my, I couldn't believe it. The sweetest old lady turned into a flippin' fascist overnight. You will walk down the aisle, you will follow those arrows, you will not cross the line, you will wait until the light turns to green before you enter. You must keep 6 feet apart, and do not argue or I will get you arrested. Anyway. Once the enforcers adopted behavioral scripts, society followed. The masks weren't about health, the pronouns weren't about compassion, the apologies weren't about reconciliation. It was rehearsal, a mass ritual rehearsal of obedience to unreality. The ritual of reversal has begun. Now the mirror has flipped, and Palantir is no longer simulating, it is recording. Already Degree 1 metadata is being used in sealed indictments, military tribunals, judicial review panels, contractor fraud investigations. The pawns weren't protected by law, they were shielded by distraction. Now the distractions are failing, and the firewall is crumbling. Degree 1 was never the story. It was the opening act. Degree 2, the institutional arm. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to pause this. I mean, they lied to me. The bar on the side lied to me, okay? Because I did a quick scroll, I'm sure I did, from top to bottom before I did the show, and I didn't think it was this long. But I seem to have been reading for a very long time, and for 33 degrees, I've only got to degree 2. There's a long way to go, and I don't know how to go. So, and my eyes are doing me in. But this is quite good, isn't it? I'm quite enjoying this. And you know what? I've got to go. I will continue this on Wednesday, I promise. But I'm going to try and figure out how to make the screen darker, because I mean, you don't want me to have a headache for days, do you? I know you don't. I need to come off of the screen because it really is. Oh, my eyes. I'm not good at. I mean, I have everything dark from YouTube. Every chance I may have a dark screen, I darken it because the light just blinds me. I don't know. It's my sensitivity. But like I've got very delicate hands. I'm very heat sensitive. Like when I get a coffee at a takeaway, I feel like such a wimp when I say, "Excuse me, do you have a holder?" Because anyway, never mind. Look, I think that's exciting. And you know what I feel, because I hadn't read this article before I shared it with you, but I thought it would be good. And I like it. And I'm going to say to you that this is now, I'm feeling less stressed about what is going on all around us. Our reality, if you think about the time frames, everything is falling apart with the narrative. With the narrative of the 1%, you know, the whatever, the ones who are trying to run the show and to ruin our lives. Nothing seems to last for more than 24 hours at the most, where we have the pushback against the tariffs literally lasts for a day. Whereas before, I would suggest that the arguments would have gone on for at least a week before a back down. We're having this weird thing with Russia and Ukraine, right? The Russia-Ukrainian thing, where they're making up these things about Russia attacking Ukraine, and it's obviously not true because we know the truth is out there with regards to what's going on with Russia-Ukraine. And so it absolutely makes no sense that Russia would just be randomly bombing locations in Ukraine, right? No evidence, right? And this whole thing where they're desperately trying to get World War III going. They needed World War III in order to get us all in line. And it's not working because nobody's believing them. they're just all over the place. And it is quite weird. Anyway, Familo says, it is good, Based Emmy. You need to know that there are businesses that were born in 2021 that are data centers that were designed to track patients in medical studies. There's one here in North Carolina, which shouldn't be a surprise because we have a Pfizer plant here in North Carolina. And North Carolina, unfortunately, hate to say it, but it's got a, what was the place? What was that laboratory? The infamous laboratory in North Carolina. Now, let me just show you quickly. All right, it's 10:20. I can't believe I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. That's ridiculous. Come on, stop speeding up the clock. Whoever's doing that, stop it. Now, I want to take you to my website, basedemmy.com, because if you care to, not wait until Wednesday, you can, of course, go to my website and get the link and read the rest of it yourself. Now, of course, I was going to mention this. Methylene blue, Illuminati, flipping methylene blue horses. I mean, I like horses. But I think the title says it all about methylene blue. I think I dyed my brain blue. Oh. I mean, I do quite like the colour blue. And by the way, from what I understand, with the direct energy weapons, anything that was blue roof, it survived. So perhaps that will help me, who knows. Anyway, right, so there's the Illuminati, the blue horses of the apocalypse. I don't know. It's not good. So you can watch that. And then, of course, I've got the XRP link. And, of course, I've got the great video from 24 Hours Crypto, who's pretty much saying, stinking stonking, it's going to be us. Okay, we're going to be stinking stonking, people, all XRP crew. So, but I'm now pretty much, gosh, it's 22:22. You believe that? I have a habit of looking at the time when the numbers are matching. What else was I going to say to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Let me just double check my headings. Palantir kind of fake news challenged. I talked about the fake news, and I talked about health, and I talked about XRP, so we're done. Goodbye. You're not going to buy that, are you? I mean, I have kind of covered everything. And my website, all right? So what I want to show you, which you might find quite interesting, besides, I did an extra title for tonight's show, which is this one. But I also, oh yes, I had the one, look what I've done already today. I mean, this is ridiculous. Plus I've looked after my little birdies, baby. We have Jack and Tinker in the other room, relaxing. But this, just in this morning's content, which I didn't go over all of it, there's this weird message from President Trump. He did post it on Truth Social, and it was the post that said that Joe Biden died on the 17th of January in 2020. That somebody else had made a post about. But I haven't heard any news about that. I don't know if anybody's remarked on that Donald Trump posted this truth. It seems to be very small here for some reason. Now look at that, you see, this is the small boats. On the 31st of May, 1,195 people crossed the channel in 19 boats. That's like 60 people to a boat. I mean, those are big boats. I'd love to know who can afford the boats. Oh, that's right, it's the government. That's right, it's the British government. And it's the French government are shipping these people over. Hello, people. The gangs are just workers for the governments. Sorry, I'm arguing with nobody. Whew, let's go back to my website. Right. That was, I guess I added that today. France was in turmoil yesterday because a whole ton of the usual suspects rioted. Had nothing to do with football, by the way. The fake stream media news wants to blame football supporters for horrendous activity over the weekend. Had nothing to do with them. Nothing. The game hadn't even started before this terrible, barbaric activity took place. Really awful. And then, of course, there's the Boulder, Colorado thing with this flipping jihadist right here with this bloody... What a bastard. Honestly, I'm so pissed off with this. How dare these... Can you imagine going to their countries and behaving like... You wouldn't last 5 minutes. Right, anyway, that's on there. Oh, good news, right? I want you to pay attention to the CPAC, which, of course, is not on the news. But CPAC in Hungary, some great speeches from, of course, Prime Minister, I called him President in the chat, but he's Prime Minister Viktor Orban, did a fantastic speech. And we also had, it's worth listening to the speech of the German opposition, is it AFD? Anyway, she did a very good speech. Polish guy did a good speech. It's all very hopeful, okay? It's all very positive. The fight back for civilization is in full swing, and it is only because it's going to succeed because President Trump is in power. Okay, now it's still getting messy, it's getting very disturbing, but I'm going to get through that Palantir thing, and I feel like I'm going to be hopeful. So sorry, here's that message I said before, which is that there's no Joe Biden executed in 2020. Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered, soulless, mindless entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference. Now, President Trump retruthed that, but I haven't heard anything added to it. Of course, Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal should have been arrested and should be tried for being traitors. I recommend listening to And We Know. I've put the link to that in there. I also did a bit of I had a few conversations with ChatGPT about the weather. These are my images that I loaded into ChatGPT to have analyzed. I didn't realize I had my finger there. Unfortunately, that one, I better get rid of that picture. I'll get rid of that. Anyway. Lots and lots of information from ChatGPT about the pictures. I had it do a PDF, and you can see what you can have the AI produce, should you so wish. If you're doing research or anything, it'll put PDF together for you. It shows, like this one here, sun halo through dense particulate cloud cover. Note the layered textures. I mean, it's not in great detail, but anyway, so it did a PDF. I had it do that, put the pictures up with the PDF. It's, it's a hit and miss with ChatGPT, and you have to carefully check what they produce, because there are usually errors. Don't always come out the way you want them to, so you have to get it to do it again and again and again. But I think it's very helpful. The information I've managed to garner from ChatGPT is information that would have, I don't know if I would have actually been able to get it with the words, the verbiage used, the information. Excellent. Now, just go down. You can go. It's all there on my website to do with aerosol spraying and the impacts, and to do with wind. I also did a little LED check. This is a video, just a minute. No, it's only 20 seconds of LED lights flashing. I had a conversation with ChatGPT about that, and ChatGPT let me know all kinds of very interesting information, which I may cover a little bit on Wednesday, because there's a lot going on, again, that we need to be concerned with. In England anyway, I'm telling you now that they're putting in the 15-minute cities. The infrastructure is being put in place now, okay? But it's not being announced, it's not being declared. The workmen won't tell you they're doing it, but you'll see a lot of road works, a lot of odd works being done, whether it's to drainage or with it's the road structure. They're probably putting sensors underneath the roads with what they intend to have to inflict on us. My prayers are that they won't succeed, and it'll all be a waste of time, because the Agenda 2030 is going to be destroyed. However, my backup plan is, of course, to have my XRP come through and to make my escape. Anyway, LED information there. This is my stuff, by the way, that I had my questions to ChatGPT. and they gave me, I asked it to do this information about detecting and the harmful effects of how it can impact you, the different levels of LED, which I know many people probably know a lot of stuff, but there's some things here which are quite, well, surprising. Okay? So I go into a lot of detail. And then I did my Palestine thing. That was another bugbear of mine with the keffiyeh thing, which I found out that it had nothing to do with Palestine. This white and black thing that the people wear, the scarf, is actually a Jewish garment that has been stolen, as everything else is, by the Islamic Jihad. And here's the palanting. All right, so that was just for this morning, which, of course, I did some of this morning, but I didn't do it all. And then also today, just in my break, I also decided I saw this image of Simon Cowell, disturbingly so, on X. And it said, everyone talking about Sean Diddy Coombs, but they aren't ready for the Simon Cowell story. So it shows a picture of Simon Cowell from quite a few years ago, and him holding a young girl in his arms, big grins, right? But beneath this image, there's a reader added context, and it says, image comes from the Suffolk Gazette, a British satire website founded in 2015 by Simon Young, a former journalist for The Sun. Now, I don't think it was a satire site at all. It specializes in humorous fictional stories that parody news, politics, and everyday life. Websites like this often used faked or doctored images. So that's what this note underneath this image is trying to suggest, which is what we knew would be done when these kind of stories came out, is to say, oh, it's AI, right? So thanks to Wayne the Pain, I have got access to websites that can check images for any, if they've been doctored by AI or created by an AI. And so I loaded this, the address to this, right-clicked and copied the image address, and then I went to wasitai.com, I think it is, and to check, and it says we're quite confident that no AI was used when producing this image. So it's genuine, right? And apparently the backstory, if you go to the Suffolk Gazette, says that it was him doing his talent search, and he was in Thailand, I think. Where is it? Oh, that's not the one. Okay, I had the story up. Thailand's Got Talent, okay? And apparently this girl sang, and Simon was impressed, and so he grabbed her, picked her up, and carried her away. And it said, during an audition in a bustling market square in Bangkok, mono-browed Cowell stumbled upon a young, unsuspecting female pop singer whose whiny voice mesmerized him. Without a second thought, the renowned talent judge literally scooped her up in his arms and whisked her away back to the United Kingdom, leaving the audience and the girl's parents in a state of utter confusion. Eyewitnesses described the scene as surreal, with Cowell strutting triumphantly, carrying the bewildered singer like a prize-winning trophy. Rumors swirled that the whole incident might have been an elaborate publicity stunt, but Cowell insisted that his behavior was normal for a music industry executive. So it carries on there. So that's why she's all grinning, is because, you know, it's before anything may have happened to the poor child. Anyway, so on my website homepage, you can find, this here says great reference tools, double checking content for originality. So on this, under this article, you've got links to whether it's images or articles have been generated. You can put it in, and there's a few other things, a few other links I've put into this article. Also today, I've done this English UK police paranoia, loss of natural freedoms. Oh, it's 10:35. So, You know, this is obviously my bugbear, of course, my dealings with the police. I know they've, everything, right? They've abused their powers. It's become a police state. We are in a police state, officially, okay? So I use this particular video, which is AB, what's his name? Auditing Britain, right? It was quite an interesting encounter that he had, and this person who did a review of this video did a quite good review. And so I used ChatGPT, and I basically said, I went into detail about how the police. I said, could you clearly and succinctly, here we go with ChatGPT, provide the exact information which alludes to or explains why UK police believe that they are under imminent threat, as I hear and see these remarks and their actions regularly via YouTube videos. And ChatGPT said, yes, here's a clear, succinct breakdown of the key sources and reasoning often cited by UK police forces when claiming they are under imminent threat, particularly when justifying heightened responses, surveillance, and restrictive measures, because they're paranoid. When people are filming outside police stations, we know that, right? The Auditing Britain, all kinds of videos, they show the police absolutely in a state of just paranoid, that there's a level of threat. So, I mean, I know what they say. So this has given me the information, the national threat level system from MI5, the counterterrorism legislation that they've used, that they reference, that they abuse, officer safety training and doctrine. And it says police are trained to prioritize officer safety first, including preemptive use of force if they perceive a potential threat, which is how they behave. So they're instructed to behave that way, obviously. They're given full carte blanche. And this is what I wanted to get clear with ChatGPT and find out what the police are told, because, you know, the College of Policing, common purpose policing, it is all horrendous. So I just, you know, dug a little deeper into the whole situation, and I asked ChatGPT to do a little thing, and then so it gave me why they're paranoid, and so I had it give it to me in a sort of social media image, easy to see, read, it stands out. So, oh, you see, and this is the thing, right? I hadn't checked this, but now I'm seeing it, right? It says that they've missed here. This is the problem. It's nice that that ChatGPT produces these things, but unfortunately you'll see errors on it. So they've spelled something of imminent terrorist, levels to signal, like ILILACEL, I don't even know what that's trying to say, of imminent terrorist attacks. So I'll have to re-enter this into the ChatGPT and say, clean that up, damn it. So they came up with Operation Bridger, of course, for the Joe Cox. Murder, not murder. Anyway. Oh, I gotta go, guys. Scarrick says, good article based, Amy. Where? Where does Scarrick say good article? What, is a good article for me to read? Or my article's good? Which I hope was the case. Hello, Amy, more watching episode. Right. Maggot John is in Foxhole. Still only got 7 red pills. Maggot John, hello. What, is Jack still around? I don't know who Jack is. Alright, that's it. Listen, I'm going. It's 20:11. I'm tired. I just want to show you, right? So I just wanted to give you if you want to see, if you're interested, if you watch the videos that I watch, which of course is the overbearing, abuse of power that the English police, the British, the UK, whatever you want to call this place, where they're in Scotland, in Wales, in Ireland to be sure, or England, they all behave very similarly, as if they've been carbon copied and issued uniforms and they go to the streets. You are very rarely going to see an individual constable behaving in a refreshing manner. It's very, very rare. They have literally just produced a bunch of mind-controlled robotons who are just obnoxious for the most part. And so I asked for, because maybe I might go to police station sometime soon. So I said, give me a response for, say, what I'm doing. Just a simple responses to people. Because if you watch these videos, like the one that I've put on here, you'll see that, like, Auditing Britain does do a bit of game playing with the police. He just kind of does the silent treatment, or he plays dumb, or he plays a foreign. He pretends like he's a French, quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu veux? What? You, what? And so, I would find, I don't know what to say. This is a very serious situation, and I want somebody to just give it to him. And AY_audits, he used to be, when I first saw him, he produced the paperwork and pretty much read the riot act to the police, but he seems to have reverted back and just starts to be a bit more compliant, which I find a bit disturbing. Anyway, I've asked for responses to give to the police, saying, "Officer, I'm filming in a public space which is perfectly lawful. I have no intention to cause alarm or obstruction. I understand you have safety duties, but I'm not posing a threat. I'm just exercising my rights peacefully. Could you clarify under which law section you believe I'm doing something unlawful? This is a public place and I'm recording in the public interest. Transparency and accountability are protected in a democracy. 5, I'm not here to cause any harm. I come in peace. I'm just documenting and observing peacefully. Nothing more." That's a misspelling there. "I respect your role." Now, I would have a hard time uttering those words, okay? Number 6, I respect your role. No, I'll just edit that out. "I believe this response is disproportionate to my conduct. I've not committed any offence. 7, there is no expectation of privacy in a public space. Filming the police or public events is not illegal. And I'm exercising my rights under Article 10 of the Human Rights Act, ECHR. Freedom of expression. Unless I'm breaking the law, I should be left alone. So piss right off." No, I wouldn't say that last bit. So anyway, continue. Oh my God, I go on and on to ChatGPT, all right? I mean, I just keep going. I said, how do I get through the indoctrination? Seriously, because you say how you do it, you acting under your oath, and you working for the public, and they don't care. They say no, they swore an oath to the king, and they're private. So screw you. Anyway, I'm really in pain, guys. I gotta go, and I've probably lost you all anyway. Oh, don't send me Ethereum. Scan the QR to copy the. No, XRP, baby. Oh, thank you, Wayne the Pain. Oh my God, thank you, Wayne the Pain. That's on my website, but I don't think that's work. I must get a hold of the guy who manages my website and get him to update the information. Just buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee would be great. Thank you, Wayne the Pain. That's very kind. The crypto donations. No, Ixnay on the crypto A. Even the XRP. Forget about this. Don't do PayPal. Just buy me a coffee, if you so choose. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate your support, and I gotta go. Oh, Jack is still around. Yes, Dong. Jack is still around. I've managed to keep him going. He's living the life of luxury. My Jack, my budgie. He's absolutely just in his cage. He sits there, just. I have to help him onto the perch because his legs are a bit spazzo. His wings don't work very well. But he's doing, he's living a life. I take him to the aviary during the day, hang his cage up inside the aviary so he can feel like he's with everybody, but he's not in danger from falling over. Yeah, I'll have to bring him next time. Anyway, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. I really do have to go because my ass is grass and my eyes are sore and so I hope that you know, the next time I meet you, let's just quickly take a look. We'll quickly take a look at the price, which is not going to be impressive because I don't know if what's it's left. Yeah, no, we're tanking, baby. We're tanking. We're 218. Now, of course, you know, a few months ago, 218 would have been a dream. But 218 is not going to get me Berkshire Island. Okay, all right. But we're still, you know, the tariff nonsense is going on. We still haven't got the legislation officially. We haven't got the Genius Act. And so, you know, we're just going to be poodling about. So it gives many people more time to just get a bit more. That's it. All right. That being said, until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Until then, all being well and good, have a great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in the world. And it's my birthday on Wednesday, and I'm still going to do a show, because I love you all, do. All right, so I'll see you then, everybody. Take care. And, Based Amy, out. This is